Hello fellow cinema enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reels movie review. Today is Classic Movie Thursdays here on my channel, my version of Throwback Thursdays. Today I will be reviewing one of my favorite classic movies. I seem to say that a lot, every classic movie seems to be one of my favorites, but The Ghost of Mrs. Muir is one that I always enjoy seeing, and the ending always makes me blub. I don't cry at movies, but the ending always makes me blub. So here's why. The Ghost of Mrs. Muir begins with Lucy Muir, played by one of my absolute favorite actresses, Jane Tierney. Her husband had passed away and her mother-in-law and sister-in-law are really annoying. The mother is like a weepy pain in the rear. The sister-in-law is like very domineering. She always gets her way. She's very stern. And Lucy wants something different. Her husband isn't around anymore. She wants to go live her life. She wants to get her daughter out of London and just do something for herself. She has shares in a gold mine that I guess he got somehow, and she just wants to go live somewhere else, and she does that. She goes down to a place by the sea, and she goes to a realtor, and the realtor's like, oh yes, here's this house, and it's only like 10 pounds, whatever. This movie, by the way, takes place in like the late 1800s. It starts off there, and she's like, oh, 10 pounds, it's by the sea. Okay, great, let's go take a look at it. And the realtor's like, no, I don't want to look at it, but she's like, yeah, well, take me there. So they go to the house, and it was an old sea captain's house. Daniel Gregg, played by Rex Harrison, that's the name of the captain, I kid you not. And she's like, oh, this is great. And then all of a sudden she starts like seeing things, like food on the table, and she's like, but I thought you said the last tenants moved out a while ago. And the realtor was like, yeah, they left in a really big hurry. And she figures out like, oh my goodness, the place is haunted. And all of a sudden Lucy hears this voice, and the realtor runs out, and Lucy kind of runs after her, and she's like, oh, the house is haunted, this is great, I'm gonna move in. And they do. And one of the first nights they're there, Daniel, as he tells Lucy to call him, comes and appears to her, and at first she's frightened, and then she's like, I like it here, I'm staying here, you're not gonna scare me out of here. And they become friends. Hence the Ghost of Mrs. Muir. They become very good friends. Not long later, Lucy's in-laws come to tell her that her husband's mining shares are gone. The mine that the gold was being brought out of ran dry, and they want her to come back with them to London and all this stuff. She's like, no, I'm not going to. So Daniel gives the in-laws a hand with getting out of the house. He physically takes them and pushes them out of the house, and he comes up with a great way for Lucy to make money, and he has her write the biography of his life called Blood and Swash. She gets it published, and the reason she's able to get it published is because some other author, played by George Sanders, was schmoozing her, and he is a dick. And Daniel knows that, and he's trying to tell Lucy, like, you know, like, he's not a good guy, he's not who he is, and he won't tell her why. And he realizes that he needs to leave and let Lucy live her life among the living and not him always being there with her. So at night while she's sleeping, he tells her that he was just a dream, that you just think of me as a dream, your whole book was a dream, everything. And that's how she lives out her life. The author is a dick, pretty much, and as I said, and he has a family. He was just messing around, you know, away from his wife and all that, and, you know, that breaks Lucy's heart. Years down the line, Lucy lives alone with her maid. Her daughter is now older, and the daughter tells her that when she was younger, she found out that she had a thing for sailors. So it was like a dream that this old captain came and talked to her, and both of them were like, is it real? Was he real? And they were like, no, you know, they dismiss it. And then, you know, eventually at the end of the movie, Lucy dies, and after she dies, Captain Greg comes back and he says, "Come with me," and their ghosts walk off. I'm like, oh god, I don't know why I am the least romantic person on the face of this earth. Like, oh god, and every time I get teary-eyed. I'm like, damn it, Gene Tierney and Rex Harrison, how do you do this to me? I don't cry, I'm a cold-hearted bitch when it comes to love stories. Every time, 100%, guaranteed to make me blub a little bit. My friends always make fun of me. Whenever we watch this, always make fun of me. I can't help it. The only movie I cry at. Gene Tierney and Rex Harrison were perfect together. Gene Tierney, I love her movies. Like, she's just so good. And you believe her as this woman who wants to get away, this loving, caring woman, and you know, you believe that she would befriend a ghost like that. And for once, her beauty wasn't played up so much in this. I mean, Gene Tierney was a gorgeous, gorgeous woman, and it just wasn't played up like in Laura. Everybody's like, oh, she was beautiful, oh, the men adored her, all this stuff. No, it wasn't like that. This was a very, very different kind of love story, and I liked that so much. And Rex Harrison, I think, sometimes just gets a little out of hand with his acting. He does here, he gets a little hammy, he does go a little bit over the top with like the stereotypical captain stuff. I just really liked him, and I don't know if it was because of Gene Tierney being in it that I could like ignore his overacting or his like boastful kind of acting, or if I just like genuinely enjoyed his performance. Maybe it was the character, Captain Craig. He was really, really good character. I loved everything about this. George Sanders, the guy was such a slime bucket in most of his movies. It was like the way he talked, it just sounds like a slime bucket all the time. I like him. You know, his character is a huge dick, as I said before, but he's so good, and you really do want to punch him in the face, but I can't. I just love him as an actor so much. He's great. The Ghost of Mrs. Muir is an absolutely excellent, excellent classic film. It's just beautiful from beginning to end. The cinematography is gorgeous, just so much about it, and you like kind of feel like really happy after watching it. You're like, oh, this is so cute, but like, you know, it's kind of weird at the same time because this lonely woman kind of falls in love with a ghost for a while. I mean, there's a ton of movies that are like that now and have been done and all that stuff. But it's just like, oh my god, this is so adorable, and it's just, the whole cast is great, and I love it. And if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, go see it as soon as you can. So that was my review of The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. If you liked my review in any way, please give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below if you have seen The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, or if you just really like Gene Tierney, like Rex Harrison. Leave those in the comments. Also in the comments, if you have any movie suggestions, be them classic movies or any other kind of movie, because I just watch everything, leave those there. And if I pick your movie and I watch it and I review it, I will give you a shout out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Classic Movie Thursdays and other movie reviews, because that is what I like to do here. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.